We're here with Tom Durkin, race caller for the NYRA tracks. Tom, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
How long have you been the race caller for NYRA?
My first day was opening day at Belmont Park, August 29th, 1991.
And before
1990, excuse me.
Before that, you called races where?
Everywhere. I called races at in Wisconsin fairs, the Wyawega County Fair, the Beaver Dam County Fair, big tracks like that. Quad City Downs, Balmoral Park, Cahokia Downs, Tampa Bay Downs, Thistle Downs, Hialeah, Gulfstream, Meadowlands, and for ESPN about 20 other tracks in 4 different countries.
So when NYRA called to have you come on, was that like making it to the big leagues?
Well, I had, by the time I got the NYRA job, I had been doing the Breeders' Cup for 6 years, so it was great, though. I was thrilled to death.
What are some of the most memorable races you've called?
The Breeders' Cup Classics, a couple of those were fabulous. Ferdinand and Ali Sheba.
Ali Sheba on the outside, Ferdinand, Giorgio Angelucci on the outside, Ali Sheba, Ferdinand has the lead, Ali Sheba, a final surge, the 2 Derby winners hit the wire together, Ferdinand and Ali Sheba in a dramatic...
And Ali Sheba the next year when he won in the dark at Churchill, Cigars races, many of his races.
Coming down to the last furlong with a 2.5 length lead, and Jerry Bailey calls on Cigar for everything he has. The Carriers.
There's just a lot of great races I've been able to see.
Unbeatable Cigar!
At Saratoga, it's hard to call the races here. They didn't have an announcer for the first 70 years, so this announcer's booth is a complete afterthought. I have no trouble calling a race as long as I can see the horses, but here they like to disappear behind trees. There's a number of beams and structures that are in front of my view looking into the clubhouse turn. I'm very low here. You want to be up high. I'm up 94 feet in the air at Belmont, here maybe 30-some. So, when those horses get stacked up here at Saratoga, it's really hard to see the horses that are on the outside. Also in the 4th, 2 jockey changes, number 13, Wise Choice, Jamie Rodriguez, and 14, My Honey Lori, Javier Castellano. If you had to design an announcer's booth, you would not design this one. But it remains my favorite place to work.
Now, how do you prepare for each race?
Well, one of the things I do is color into the program, sort of like the colors that the jockeys are wearing. I put them over on this side of the program over here. That way I can look, and for instance, this race I see 3 horses are going to be wearing yellow. So before I open my big mouth, when those horses come around, I've got to make sure that I see the other things that are there, distinguishing elements like a blinkers or a hat or a stripe here, a stripe there. I'll do that, and then I'll try to figure out how the race is going to be run strategically as far as the jockeys are concerned. Take a look and get a kind of idea what the pace is going to be like, and work out a couple scenarios in my head. And then I have a book, this book right here I refer to, and this has stuff to say. It takes about 45 minutes to read it. I try to read it every day, although sometimes I can't get through it all. And it's just different things to say. The first page here lists very, very fast, words for very, very fast, then words for very fast, then words for fast, then words for sort of fast, then words for even, words for slow, slower, and slowest. So some of the very, very fast would be runaway, frenzied, scalding, absurdly fast, frantic, vicious, gut-wrenching, imprudent, ruthless, cutthroat, brutal, and it goes all the way down. And between that and at the end, plodding along, pedestrian, glacial, snail-like, somnambulant. So if a certain situation is there, the words will be there for me. I tell you, the night before Smarty Jones' race, I was so confident that he was going to do it. I actually went out and I got one of those measuring devices, that the surveyors use. It's on a wheel and you measure it out. And I measured out 31 lengths on the rail. That was the distance that Secretariat won by, because I thought he might win by that much. And I put a mark on the rail that night. That's how confident I was in what Smarty Jones was going to do the next day. And then he runs the third quarter in his race in 22-3, and that was it.
And Smarty Jones enters the stretch to the roar of 120,000, but Birdstone is going to make him earn it today. The whip is out on Smarty Jones. It's been 26 years. It's just one furlong away. Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
Well, it was very deflating, and as a matter of fact, a guy wrote in the New York Times the next day, was probably the most non-celebratory win call in sports broadcasting.
Elter Star, Spot of Hand, Star for a day, Star for a day, Star for a day.
The harness announcer, I used to call harness races at the Meadowlands, named a horse, She Sells Seashells, of course. There was a horse called Yakahikamicadola, Flat Fleet Feet. But I did get Flat Fleet Feet right. Flat Fleet flies 4 furlongs in 44-4. So, I just said to the owner, there you go. You try to get me.
Waiting for Star for a Day and Elter Star.
The jockeys' names are, sometimes I just have to ask them. Like we have Jaime Rodriguez, he doesn't like to be called Jaime. He wants to be called Jamie. So it's their prerogative.
They're in the gate.
I tell you what's great now is having Google some name that you don't realize. You just, Google it and, comes up, and it even gives you pronunciations for all sorts of stuff.
And they're off. And it's Spirit of Cochise who goes racing to the lead immediately. A length and a half ahead of Kaish Electronica, who runs along in second. Spite of Hand hustled up to stay close there. And a break of 7 or 8 lengths back to Star for a Day and Elter Star. Racing to the half-mile pole.
Generally speaking, what I'll do is get a few horses out of the gate, go through the field, and then I'll take my binoculars from the back to the front. Just kind of, and I'll use a transition phrase like, now the field is moving into the far turn.
Around the far turn, 3 of them still doing battle here.
When I'm saying something like that, those transitional phrases, what I'm doing is actually buying a little time so I can take my binoculars from the back of the pack and go to the front, check everybody out, and then get in my head like who's going to be moving.
45 and 2/5 seconds, 3/16 from the line, and Spirit of Cochise hanging tough. Spirit of Cochise, Kaish Electronica fighting on.
I concentrate a little bit more on the favorite than I do on the other horses. On a heavy favorite, I concentrate a lot more. On a champion, I concentrate a lot more.
Electronica draws away in the final 16th of a mile. Spirit of Cochise was second. Spite of Hand was third.
But it's fairly formulaic.
Number 1, Kaish Electronica was first. Number 2, Spirit of Cochise was second. Number 5, Spite of Hand was third. And 6, Star for a Day was fourth. The results are non-official. 1, 2, 5, and 6.
You're going to be retiring in 2015?
Well, yeah, the plan is to retire in 2015, but like I said, God laughs at people who make plans. I don't miss the pressure, I'll tell you that. I will not miss the stress. But check back in 4 years and I'll tell you.